Greetings, Golden Goblins, my Universe and Mighty Nerdy, and welcome back to our Lady Universe Top 10, which will officially kick off our Halloween season, or Lazyween season, as I'm going to be counting down the top 10 favorite Halloween movies of that I enjoy watching to basically get me into the spooky season, the Halloween spirit, if you would. And I was gonna save this and do this a uh, for a Halloween top 10, basically to celebrate that. But the asshole that basically takes over this channel every October, or every last week of September to October, I decided to do something nice for you guys, and I'm 100% behind it, but that is a secret that we're gonna keep here. So, these are just my picks for Halloween movies. They're not necessarily horror themed, they don't necessarily have a lot of horror in them. They're just movies that I would feel like can get you into the spirit for your various and own affiliate purposes, like your own reasons and everything. And just remember that these are just my picks. They don't necessarily have to reflect on yours. So please don't come after me for saying, oh, you put such and such at number whatever here. It's just my picks and this is just my honest opinions on the thing. So, let's get started. Let's summon up those ghouls and goblins, let's go hunting with the werewolf, go sucking blood with the vampire, and basically prank people with the invisible man, cause this is the Lady Universe Top 10 Halloween film. Just remember, I'm just doing this for fun, my own personal opinions, and this is not meant to hurt anyone else who thinks otherwise of Halloween movies. So, let's get started and let's begin the countdown because this is Lady Universe's favorite Halloween movie to watch, or whatever that I call it, basically to get me into the spooky season. Let's get started. Number 10. I've already tackled this movie when I reviewed both of the Hellboy films, but it does bear repeating that Hellboy wasn't even while an obscure movie, it's still a good one and one to watch for the Halloween season. An evil vampire known as Alberto Cisco rises up back from the grave, rises back from the ashes, which causes Professor Trevor Broom to go after this treasure once and for all. Which of course now he has more of a better arsenal than he did before, with Hellboy, Abe Sapien, and Liv Sherman able to help him out and figure out what's going on with the house. While admittedly not the best film in the arsenal to basically count down with, it's still a good movie and it's still worth watching and checking out, especially during the Halloween season, so give it a go. Number 9. I know, I can already hear 1,000 of you screaming, Edward Scissorhands is not considered a Halloween movie, but I actually watch it every October, so... An Avon saleswoman, known as Peg Bowes, has a hard time selling her Avon product to her fellow neighbors and fellow friends, as they want nothing to do with any and all of her Avon products. That is until she wanders into a professor's old abandoned laboratory and finds a creature living there. Not human, but living anyways, Edward. Yes, Edward was invented by a brilliant old inventor, which was the last role for agent actor Vincent Price to work on, especially with Tim Burton. But at first, you get the sensation that Edward is being cared for by the family because they clothed him, they gave him a room, and they gave him everything that he could want. But not quite. Edward Scissorhands is a beautiful Tim Burton movie, and if you haven't seen it yet, I highly recommend it you do, because it's quite an amazing movie with quite a shocking ending. And yes, it does become a monster movie, but not until towards the ending. So give yourself Edward Scissorhands a chance to watch this October season for something new and spooky to watch. Number 8. I don't care what anybody says, I do enjoy this movie, so fuck it and fuck anyone that basically thinks otherwise, because I indeed do think this movie is awesome. For thousands of years, a war has been raging on between werewolves and vampires as everyone is going after each other. But one person needs to be saved, one known as Michael. As everyone tries to figure out what is the fine line between the vampire and the werewolf war, everyone tries to figure out what exactly is going on with Michael and why is he so special. For if you're one of those people that like werewolf versus vampire movies or etc., especially those that are better than Twilight, then check this one out. It's definitely a worthy successor and a worthy watch during the Halloween season, and you will not be disappointed by how damn good this movie is, despite it, even though what people say, so give it a worthy shot. Number 7. After the events of the last movie, Serene and Michael find themselves on the run away from both the werewolves and vampires because they still want Michael because he's a precious half-breed. But this time, the war goes even farther. It's not just between vampires and werewolves anymore, it is also between vampires, werewolves, and immortal beings of humans. Yeah, I'm a person who thinks that the sequel is better than the original. I know, say what you will, but shut the hell up. Because I really do enjoy this movie every October. So if you're ready for some monster slaying of a good time, then please check out Underworld Evolution. It is definitely better and also has a lot better of a way of explaining how long this war between humans and vampires has been going on. Number 6. People would say that this is a bad movie, but I highly digress because I actually think that it's a pretty awesome movie, and yes, indeed, it's one that I watch every October. Dr. Victor Frankenstein has created a monster, but not for himself or for science or for liberties. Oh, no, 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 no. He's inventing the perfect monster to take on his master, Dracula. Yes, Frankenstein's monster is supposed to be the monster that will kill Dracula. Anybody have any flashback to the Wolfman versus Dracula kind of reference? But when a fire breaks out, everybody believes that the monster is destroyed, especially one known as Count Dracula, but who promises that he will still hunt down this monster. But there's also one that will ruin all of Dracula's plans, the only one known as Abraham Van Helsing, as he is indeed the monster hunter ready to take on the world. So many people call this movie bad. Am I one of those people? Well, honestly, no. I actually really did enjoy Van Helsing for what it's worth and think it's enjoyable. And also, I'm a big Hugh Jackman fan, so of course I like this movie because Hugh Jackman is actually a really enjoyable actor and he does a good job with the role that he is handed. The same, however, cannot be said for the guy who plays Count Dracula. He is, very eccentric? Over the top? I don't know. While it's goofy and 10,000 types of cheesy, I still do enjoy this movie and I recommend it to anyone that likes horror films because this one is a horror movie for Yetta. Number 5. If I may be honest, I'd love to put all 3 films on here, but I'm just gonna stick with one just in case, and also I don't want my camera to jam up on me either. Count Dracula had been hiding his daughter Mavis away from humans after the course of events that happened that unfortunately took his wife from him, so he now had to save place for his monster. That is until years later he invents the Hotel Transylvania, a place that's safe for monsters where they can go and get a vacation away from all of humanity. That is until a human known as Johnny wanders into the Hotel Transylvania and thinks that it is the coolest place on earth despite of what Dracula thinks of him. Also, the voice cast is stunning. Andy Samberg, Adam Sandler, Selena Gomez, Steve Buscemi, and all the rest of the cast seem to be doing the best job that they're handed with what they got. It also is a beautiful movie that shows us of how great that and powerful that true love can be. That when you find your true love, no matter what they are, you will love them anyway. This movie is great, awesome, and should be experimented or watched every single Halloween season. You will not be disappointed by how damn good this movie actually is.
So listen, all you singers from here to Beijing, you better crack the box string, get ready to clean. Cause if love was money, you'd be energy. Next to a sing, Cupid arrow, a little beast. It was a sing and a sing and a...
Number 4, sorry. What this? Another Tim Burton movie? On a Halloween list? Insecure, some people say. I say it's my way, screw it, and let's move on. Two families are basically like Romeo and Juliet want their families, their son and their daughter, to be married to one another despite the consequences and even if they don't love each other. But however, Victor is such a clumsy goof, and yet he doesn't feel like that he wants to get married. Well, not at first he wants to get married to the lovely woman. That is until, by accident, he proposes to the wrong person. He proposes to the corpse bride, and thus his fate is sealed in marrying, well, the corpse bride. This movie is such whimsical. It is also whimsically colorful too, especially how the underworld looks more colorful than what the real life world basically gives you. It's no joke, and it's no doubt why I watch this movie every single October, as it is just an enjoyable watch from beginning to end every single time that I see it, so it's highly recommended. Number 3.
Double feature. Science fiction.
After a wedding, a newlywed couple, known as Brad and Janet, decide, hey, fuck it, why don't the both of us get married, and we can enjoy life together? But when their car gets unfortunately stuck in the rain, the two of them have no choice but to stop at a creepy old mansion, or a creepy old castle, Castle Frankenfurter. Well, the two of them run into the mad doctor himself, Dr. Frankenfurter, and his ultimate goal of making the ultimate pleasure machine for men and women. This is old school B-movie classics as they go back to the past to celebrate all the B-movies that have been celebrated from horror history, but who cares, it is a masterpiece. And I, for one, love this movie every single time that I watch it. I also can't help but sing along to every damn song that is in this movie. Please don't judge me, as this movie is something to enjoy for anyone of all times, and also should be a movie to be enjoyed on October, because this movie is nothing but... Number 2. Beetlejuice. I've already covered this movie as it is upon the channel, but it does feel repeating because this movie is a cult classic, and I can see why. A newlywed couple, known as Adam and Barbara, seem to be enjoying their life together, and they're just on their honeymoon, and they're on their lifelong journey to be together forever for all of eternity. That is until a cruel twist of fate just so happens to haunt them both, and they're transformed into ghosts. They are no longer living nor dead, they're in permanent purgatory. But as it is until a family starts wandering in upon the property, the Deeses, who want nothing to do with the house but to destroy it and remodel it in their own creative decisions. But when they realize that the Deeses will not leave by their own charm, they have no excuse but to use the gooey ghoul himself, Beetlejuice, to be rid of their toils. It's a movie that I enjoy for the Halloween season, and it's one that everybody else can enjoy for the Halloween season, and it is nothing more but pure enjoyment, and it's worth checking out for this October season.
Beetlejuice. 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 It's showtime.
And my number one favorite movie to watch in the Halloween season is none other than I know this movie is so cliche to like. I know that people talk about it non-stop, but there's a good reason. It's such an enjoyably good movie. Jack Skellington, the Pumpkin King, is sick and tired of the same routine every single year for Halloween. He wanted to do something different to spice up the season.